It started with a voice message. Not a text, not a phone call, a voice message. At exactly 3:17 a.m., Ethan's phone vibrated on the nightstand beside his bed. Half asleep, he reached for it. Unknown number. He frowned. Nobody called him at that hour. The notification showed a voice recording that was 21 seconds long. For a moment, he considered ignoring it. Instead, curiosity won. He pressed play. Static crackled through the speaker. Then a whisper emerged. Ethan. His eyes opened wider. The voice sounded familiar, painfully familiar. A woman's voice, soft, weak, terrified. Ethan, don't let it see you. The message ended. Ethan sat upright, his heart hammered. The voice belonged to his sister, Olivia. The problem was that Olivia had died 3 years ago. Police said it was an accident. She had disappeared during a hiking trip in the mountains. 2 weeks later, they found her body at the bottom of a ravine. The case was closed. Everyone moved on. Everyone except Ethan. He replayed the message. Again. 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 Every time it sounded exactly the same. No sign of editing. No sign of artificial effects. Just Olivia, whispering, "Don't let it see you." At sunrise, he convinced himself someone was playing a cruel joke. By afternoon, he had almost forgotten about it. Then another voice message arrived. 3:17 p.m. Unknown number. 7 seconds long. He listened. Heavy breathing. Then Olivia's voice. "It's behind the door." Click. End. A chill spread through his body. Slowly, Ethan turned toward the bedroom door. It was closed. Nothing unusual. Yet something felt wrong. He walked over and opened it. The hallway was empty. No one there. No movement. No sound. Still, he checked every room in the apartment. Nothing. That night, he blocked the number. At 3:17 a.m., another voice message arrived from a different number. 29 seconds. Ethan. Her voice sounded closer this time, as if she were speaking directly into his ear. It knows you're listening. The recording ended with a sudden metallic scraping sound, something dragging across concrete. Then silence. Ethan barely slept. The next morning, he visited the phone company. They couldn't trace the number. According to their records, it didn't exist. The employee looked confused. "Sir, these messages shouldn't be possible." That answer only made him feel worse. Over the next week, the recordings continued. Always at 3:17. Always from a different number. Always Olivia. And every message revealed something new. "It's in the hallway. Don't answer the knocking. Close your curtains. Never look outside after midnight." The warnings grew increasingly specific. Ethan wanted to dismiss them, but strange things began happening. Tiny things at first. He'd find doors open that he'd locked. Lights switched on in empty rooms. Objects moved from their usual places. A coffee mug on the kitchen floor. A picture frame facing the wall. His keys hanging from the bathroom faucet. Things that made no sense. One evening he returned home from work and found every curtain in the apartment wide open. Every single one. He was absolutely certain he'd left them closed. His stomach tightened. That night's message lasted only 4 seconds. "Don't look out." Unfortunately, he had already done exactly that. The window beside him overlooked a narrow street. Dark, empty, silent. At least that's what he thought. Then he noticed someone standing beneath a streetlight. A figure, tall, thin, perfectly motionless, watching his apartment. Ethan's blood turned cold. The figure stood there for nearly an hour, never moving, never blinking, just staring. At midnight, the streetlight flickered for less than a second. When it came back on, the figure was gone. The next morning, Ethan bought security cameras. He installed one facing his front door, another facing the street, and one inside the living room. That night he waited. 3:17 a.m. The message arrived. He played it. Olivia sounded terrified. It's inside now. The recording ended. Ethan immediately checked the cameras. Nothing outside. Nothing in the hallway. Nothing in the living room. Relief washed over him. Then he noticed something. The living room camera showed the couch, the television, the coffee table, and behind the couch, a pale face, barely visible, peeking over the top. Ethan froze. He was standing in the living room while watching the live feed. He slowly turned toward the couch. Nothing. Empty space. No face. No person. He looked back at the monitor. The face was still there, smiling. Its eyes were completely black. A loud crash erupted behind him. He spun around. The monitor fell from his desk and shattered. The live feed disappeared. The apartment became silent. Too silent. Ethan grabbed his car keys and left. He spent the night in a hotel. For the first time in days, no message arrived. He thought maybe leaving had broken whatever was happening. He was wrong. When he returned home the next evening, a voice message was waiting. 3 minutes long. The longest yet. He listened. Static. Breathing. Then Olivia spoke. Ethan, I found out what happened. A pause. Her voice trembled. The thing everyone found wasn't me. Ethan stopped breathing. What? He replayed it. The words remained the same. The thing everyone found wasn't me. A horrifying thought entered his mind. What if Olivia never died? What if something else had been buried instead? The message continued. I was trapped somewhere dark. I don't know where. I could hear it moving. It wore people's faces. Ethan felt nausea rising. It learned my voice. It learned my memories. It learned everything. A distant scream echoed through the recording. Olivia began crying. Then came her final warning. When it finds you. The message cut abruptly. End. No explanation. No conclusion. Nothing. Ethan spent the next 2 days researching the area where Olivia disappeared. He found old articles, forum posts, rumors. Most were nonsense, but one story caught his attention. Decades earlier, hikers had reported encountering a creature in those mountains, a thing that imitated voices, a thing that lured people away from trails, a thing that copied the dead. Locals called it the Hollow Man. Nobody took the legend seriously until people began vanishing. The descriptions were strangely consistent. Tall, thin, black eyes, motionless, watching, exactly like the figure beneath the streetlight. Ethan's hand shook as he read. Then his phone vibrated. A new voice message. Not at 3:17. It was only 8:46 p.m., the first schedule break. He pressed play. Olivia whispered, "It knows you're reading." The line disconnected. At that exact moment, someone knocked on his apartment door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Ethan froze. No one ever visited him. Another 3 knocks followed. Then silence. His heart pounded. He remembered Olivia's warning. Don't answer the knocking. The knocking continued for nearly 10 minutes, then stopped. 5 minutes later, another message arrived. This one contained only a single sentence. Good. Relief flooded him. Maybe he had passed some kind of test. Then another message arrived immediately afterward. Different number, different voice. Not Olivia, a man's voice. Cold, emotionless. You should have opened the door. Ethan nearly dropped the phone. For the first time, he understood. The thing was communicating directly, watching him, reacting to his choices, learning. That night, he pushed furniture against every door, locked every window, turned on every light. At 3:17 a.m., no message arrived. At 3:18, his phone rang. Unknown number. He declined. The phone rang again and again and again. 37 calls in total. Then silence. A message appeared. One image. A photograph. Ethan stared in horror. It showed his apartment building, taken from outside. The timestamp read 3:16 a.m. The camera angle pointed directly toward his bedroom window. Someone had been standing outside, watching. Another image arrived. Closer. Another. Closer. Another. Closer. The final photo showed Ethan himself, standing beside the window, taken from inside the room. His blood turned to ice. Someone was already inside. He searched the apartment for hours. Nothing. No intruder. No evidence. No explanation. Morning finally arrived. Exhausted and terrified, Ethan decided to leave the city. He packed a bag, filled his car with gas, and began driving. For the first hour, everything seemed normal. Then his phone vibrated. No signal bars. No internet. Yet somehow, a new voice message appeared. He played it. Olivia was crying. "Ethan, don't go to the mountains." His hands tightened around the wheel. Mountains? He wasn't heading there. Then he checked the GPS. The route had changed. Instead of leading toward the highway, it directed him toward the same mountain range where Olivia vanished. The route could not be edited. Every alternative path redirected back. Ethan threw the phone onto the passenger seat. Hours later, he found himself driving through thick forest roads. Dark clouds gathered overhead. Rain began falling. Then his engine died. The car rolled to a stop, directly beside an old trailhead, the same trail where Olivia disappeared. Lightning flashed. For a moment, the woods illuminated, and Ethan saw dozens of figures standing among the trees, watching, motionless, human-shaped, too tall, too thin. The next lightning strike revealed they had moved closer. His phone vibrated one final time. A voice message. 20 seconds. He pressed play. Olivia whispered, "Ethan." A pause. Then she said something that shattered every hope he had left. "That isn't me." The voice changed. Slowly, twisting, becoming deeper, less human. The thing laughed. A wet, horrible sound. Then spoke. "We finally found you." The message ended. Outside, hundreds of black eyes opened simultaneously within the darkness of the forest. And then every figure smiled.